What's up, guys? In today's video we're going to be talking about patch 8.09 in Brawlhalla. So first up, they changed the coverage of axe ground pound, so it is not as threatening as it used to be. I mean, it was a pretty big circle and needed tuning for years. I still think axe should have been touched and more than just this. It still does a lot of damage, and moves like Sear, and let's not even talk about Dare, are still extremely powerful. So yes, this was definitely an overlook on their part. Next up, they increased Battle Boots ground pound time to charge from 18 to 21, so you can't spam it as much. I mean, overall, this isn't going to really change that much about Battle Boots. It's still overall a pretty good weapon. It still takes a lot of time to kill, so I wish we would have got like a little bit of stronger moveset. But overall, yeah, this isn't going to really do too much for Battle Boots. It's going to be really a unnoticeable change. Next up is blasters, which kind of got a buff and a nerf because D-Light now went from doing 12 damage to 13, but the majority of the damage is dealt in the final shot of D-Light. You know how D-Light does 3 different like bullet hitboxes. The last one is the one that does the majority of the damage. Now, I don't know what people can actually do with this, but I mean, it was intended for a reason. I don't really see the point of it, honestly. Next up, they nerfed Cannon Nair because they felt like it was a little too spammable. So now it takes like 5 more frames to get the Nair out if you miss it. This, in my opinion, was not the problem with Cannon. I feel like moves like Sidelight and D-Light and Dare are way more, and also, of course, Cannon Ground Pound are way more dangerous things than Nair, even though Nair was still good. So overall, how do you feel about this? I feel like, I mean, just don't miss your Nair and it's still the exact same Nair, so not too much of a difference. Next up is Greatsword, and oh boy, this is interesting. So they made it to where you cannot do your sidelight on Greatsword into like another move as quick as you were able to before. Which means that, you know how people, majority of, let's be honest, Greatsword players would just literally press the X button 3 different times and get a full-blown combo? Now you can't spam it, and that was honestly the overall problem with Greatsword. The fact that bridging made it so safe because you could throw out a move and throw out another move. Now, it's nothing too crazy. They only increased it by 3 frames, but the fact that they're trying to overall fix the main problem on why a weapon is so free is definitely a step in the right direction. And with this change, they're also making it to where you can't use Greatsword Nair as often, like as a neutral option, since the momentum is going to be slightly brung back. So it's a little bit more dangerous to throw out a Nair and try to carry the momentum because you won't have as much momentum as you used to have. Next up, we have Katars, which, I mean, it's not that much. Pretty much now Katar Dare is slightly 1 frame longer on miss, so I mean, it's going to be pretty noticeable, but just don't miss your dares. As I said, I mean, I don't really recommend you using Dare as a neutral option anyway. You have Sidelight and Light Dare. So many better options. Don't use Dare as a neutral option and you should be pretty good. Lance pretty much got like the exact same treatment to our Sidelight on miss. It's like 2 frames longer now. It's not going to be that noticeable. Just don't miss your Sidelight. The only thing I can see this really affecting is how people used to love doing like Sidelight into D-Light or Inlight into D-Light. We're just doing Inlight into D-Light. No, it'll be fine. And Cyth pretty much got the exact same thing with the D-Light. 2 frames. We already talked about it. Just don't miss your D-Light. Now we are on to SIGs. Botvar's Hammer Down SIG, End SIG, and Side SIG all got increased stun. The Side SIG and End SIG got a big increase by like 10, and the Down SIG got like 1. Of course, End SIG on the Hammer is going to get a 1 frame decrease, so now D-Light into Chorus End SIG on the Hammer is now going to be true again, so that's pretty awesome. Nix's Side SIG on blasters comes out a little bit faster. I mean, overall, this is a really good change because, in my opinion, this was definitely the SIG you were going to use the least amount of on Nix when it came to his blasters, or her blasters. So, yeah, pretty good. Scarlet got the Botvar treatment of overall increased stun time of all her hammer SIG, so, yeah, pretty good. Now this is interesting. Tesco on his side sig now has like a little bit less coverage. You know, like the animation where he's actually holding somebody and spinning them on his side sig. They made it to where it's easier to pretty much knock the opponent out of it or knock your teammate out of it to save them. So it's not as threatening or as overpowered. So yeah, pretty good change for twos. They finally realized how free axe down sig on the Orgrimmar was and increased it by 3 more frames. And last but not least, we are on VV. Her neutral sig on boots went from 6 frames minimum to charge to 8, so a little bit longer for that. Her side sig on boots got a big change from being able to come out from minimum charge time of 3 seconds to 6 seconds. Now, I had no idea that sig came out in 3 seconds. I mean, I knew it was broken like in twos that can control the whole entire map. So I'm glad they increased the time on that. And last but not least, her N sig on blasters, the version that goes into walls, and increased it by 2 frames. But overall, guys, what are your thoughts? Keep in mind that this patch pretty much was to fix the inclusion of the new dash change and try to like make stuff better. I guarantee you they're gonna have to do more than this, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, peace out.